When we heard that DS18 was teaming up with legendary system designer and fabricator Steve Meade to produce a line of amps, we knew we'd be in for a treat. But I don't know that we were prepared for just how awesome these amps would be.
Steve Meade doesn't put his name on just anything. He's a highly respected car audio professional, known for extreme builds, detailed tutorials, and of course custom fabrication. And then there's DS18, a Miami sound gear brand that blends looks and power. They're all about good design and over-the-top performance. And they test their products in real vehicles, creating sound systems for specific cars, trucks, jeeps, jet skis, side-by-sides, motorcycles, slingshots, you name it, they've done it. They love motorsports and sound design. Trust me, if you haven't seen their builds, you're gonna wanna go drool over some of their custom mods.
Put DS18 and Steve Meade together and you get an insanely powerful line of production amps with durable components, built-in tools, and a one-of-a-kind look. The SMD amps fit a wide range of needs, and when it comes to sheer power output, they're incredibly competitive. Let's take a look at specs on this line. The SMD 200.4AB pumps out 150 watts at 4 channels at 4 ohms, 200 watts by 4 at 2 ohms, and 400 watts by 2 bridged. The SMD 300.4AB is rated at 200 watts by 4 at 4 ohms, 300 by 4 at 2 ohms, and 600 watts by 2 bridged. The SMD 500.4AB puts out 300 watts by 4 at 4 ohms, 500 watts by 4 at 2 ohms, and a whopping 1000 watts by 2 bridged. Their 5-channel amp, the SMD 2800.5, sends out 180 watts by 4 and 700 watts by 1 at 4 ohms, 250 watts by 4 and 1100 watts by 1 at 2 ohms, or 500 watts by 2 bridged plus 1800 watts by 1 at 1 ohm. Moving to the mono amps. The SMD 2000.1D pumps out 800 watts into 4 ohms, 1400 at 2 ohms, and 2000 watts at 1 ohm. The SMD 3000.1D is rated at 1300 watts at 4 ohms, 2200 at 2 ohms, and 3000 watts at 1 ohm. The SMD 5000.1D puts out 2000 watts at 4 ohms, 3500 at 2 ohms, and 5000 watts at 1 ohm. And finally, the SMD 8500.1D pumps out 8500 watts at 1 ohm for serious SPL competitors. So if you want to power high-end speakers, create an SPL monster, and dominate competitions, DS18 has you covered.
Odds are, if you're pushing the limits, you're also having a good time, showing off a little. These amps are flat out stunning. Best looking line of amps on the market right now, period. Unlike some car models where the design changes as you move up in trims, this amp lineup keeps it bold across the board, whether you're starting small or going all out. The clear acrylic top reveals the flipped circuit board, showcasing every spotless component like a piece of art. From the massive DS18 caps to the precise soldering and clean lines, even the tiniest detail shouts precision. He flipped the circuit board to maximize the effects of the cooling. The fans, plus the chassis fins and the inverted design, are all factors that focus on cooling in all these amps. They've got sky-high Car Audio's OFC wiring, known for its ultra-pure copper and superior conductivity, so you'll get maximum efficiency and reliability in high-performance builds. Steve Meade is a big fan of their quality. You see that Korean board inside? Arguably the best tech in SPL right now. Korea makes 60% of the world's semiconductors, and they are leading the game in high-tech amps. Not to mention, this thing is packed with digital LEDs designed to highlight all those internals I just mentioned. A far cry from the standard strip of LEDs, glued to the side as an afterthought, you can sync these to your system and control the colors and patterns with the included remote. If you get another adapter, you can pair them with DS18's lit up subs and speakers because why not? It's over the top and it's awesome. It's the kind of gear you're going to show off. They also feature a built-in voltmeter, so you can monitor your voltage in real time, a necessity when running high-performance builds. These amps are built to be pushed to the limit, and with DS18's best hardware and internal regulators to keep your voltage stable and performance consistent. With that voltmeter, you can actually see that it's doing what it says it's doing.
I also love that they feature clip indicators. When you're setting the gain, they'll let you know if you've introduced too much distortion into the mix. If the light comes on, you back off the gain a little until it goes out. And know that you're getting optimized signal for best sounding output. And protect your equipment from damage when you're running a high-powered system. On the 4-channel amp, Steve went with the warm sound of a classic Class A/B design. bucking the industry trend that has moved away from Class AB amplifiers in recent years for two reasons. They draw more current from a car's battery, and they run hotter, so they need good cooling. The mono amps are all Class D, but they have the same cooling features. As much power as they put out, it's important to keep them cool too, even though Class D tends to be more efficient than Class AB. They have a remarkably high damping factor across the line as well. Damping factor means the amp has good control of the movement of the speakers or subwoofers, and a high damping factor means better response.
When it comes to shaping the sound, these amps have all the tone controls you need. Variable crossovers, bass boosts, and on the mono amps, a phase switch, letting you dial in the sound that you're feeding your speakers. Amps come with a remote level control with a 16-foot cable, so you can adjust the subwoofer level from the driver's seat. It has clipping and power protection indicators on it as well. So it's not that these just pump out raw power for SPL fanatics, they're meant to make your music sound great too. The frequency range on these amps is impressive. The mono amps play down to 15 Hz, which is plenty deep, and have a subsonic filter you can use to improve efficiency and tune your ported subwoofer enclosure if you're using it.
Let's talk wiring for a second. When we say these things put out power, we mean it. With the SMD 200.4 AB, you're going to connect power and ground with 4-gauge cables, and it'll work well with pretty much any gas-powered vehicle's electrical system. It's powerful, but not too excessive. If you go with the bigger 4-channel amps, the 5-channel, or any of the Class D mono amps, you will be redesigning your electrical system because you'll need stable voltage, you'll need a little more than 12 volts, you'll upgrade your big 3 wiring, that's the power wire from your alternator to the battery, the wire from your negative battery terminal to your chassis, and the ground wire from your engine block to your chassis to high-quality 1/0 gauge. Will you upgrade to a high-output alternator? Most likely.
I would.
Add fat capacitors? Maybe. You'll also need to make sure you've fused the amps properly, both close to the battery and close to the amp. And these amps all require really large fuses. The 5,000 watt SMD 5000.1D needs a 520 amp fuse, for example, so creativity might be needed. Here's another consideration: your mono amps are strappable. You can connect 2 of them together to run in tandem and generate unbelievable amounts of power. Competitors love this ability, but it means some outside-of-the-box thinking when it comes to wiring them all for power and ground. These amps are definitely built for enthusiasts who love a good system design challenge.
Exactly. A build like this demands more than just performance. It needs the design to match. But here's the fun thing. Working with big 1/0 gauge wiring, distribution blocks, fuse holders, it's all a chance to create something one of a kind. Not just neat, not just clean, but something eye-popping that screams power and performance.
And then delivers both. Whether you're turning heads at a show or dominating an SPL competition, this amp delivers. Style, power, no compromises. If you're interested in the DS18 amps or anything else, give us a call here at Crutchfield. I'm sure our advisors can help. I'm JR.
And I'm Rodell.
Thank you for watching.